The AllStar app, the #1 app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. November 5th, you're back in action. You're returning to the Apex, your third fight, I believe, inside that tight little space right there. What is that environment like for you, man? I always wonder with fighters.
Like fighting in the apex compared to fighting in like an arena?
Exactly, because you've experienced both now.
Yes, of course. Well, for me personally, I can't speak for others. I mean, I've heard other people, they say they prefer the apex. Some people prefer the arena. I personally prefer fighting in the arena. I feel that's how it's, should be. Feel like you got like fans watching, all that stuff. But fighting in the apex is like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird feeling because like you're walking out and it's like you're you're expecting like a big crowd, a big arena, but it's smaller, so sometimes it could throw you off. You know what I mean? At least like
Yeah.
when I fought the first time, there was a little like, oh shit. So all my fights, like prior to UFC, they've always been sold out arenas. Arenas. Like I fought in multiple times with audiences of like 5, 10,000 people. So it's like what I'm used to. Um, yeah, it's different for sure.
Yeah, it is a different, and even I've talked to fighters and they say the fight week is different. You know what I mean? It's just like it's weird.
Yeah,
To them it's weird.
yeah. I mean, I mean, so the two times I fought in the Apex were fight nights, and then I fought on a numbered card. The numbered cards are to me, it feels more like a fight week. I feel like just the way everything's organized, it just seems like um, I don't know. I feel like you get to live the fight week experience compared to like the fight night ones. I haven't been on a fight night with a crowd, so I don't know how those ones are. But I would think it would be the same as like the regular fight nights at the
Yeah.
Apex. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is a different feeling. It seems like a more colder, quiet approach for sure. Fighting on the Apex cards.
Does it have a effect on you, let's say like mentally, like when you have the crowd and you have the arena and you're stepping out there, I'm pretty sure you get that like animalistic side of you, to come out a little bit better. Is it like that?
Yeah, I mean it's a fight at the end of the day. You're in there, you got to focus. But for sure, I think the crowd does. I'm a big believer of the crowd. Fighting in arenas with the crowd, it plays a big factor in how the fights play out for sure. Because when you're in the apex, it is a fight in there, but it almost feels like a sparring session. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And in a sparring session, sometimes you tend to, well, it's not a real fight, so maybe I won't. You know what I mean? You get into that
Yeah.
mindset where it's like, okay, it's not that serious. But versus when there's a crowd, you got people cheering, booing, whatever it is, like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Or like fuck this guy. I'm tired, but the crowd's fucking bringing me back to life. So for
Yeah.
sure, I think the crowd plays a big factor. And I mean, you can watch any of the fight nights that have been happening now with the crowds.
Mhm.
All those fights have been amazing. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
UFC San Diego one, compare the Apex cards. I don't know. To me, like the fight nights with the crowds have been way better. The fights.
Yeah, when they started doing those shows in Apex, at first it was cool because you get to hear everything as someone, as a fan watching it from home. But then after
Of
a
course.
while, you're like, you miss that. You miss the crowd. You miss, like the comebacks. You know what I mean? You don't really. I don't think you see as many comebacks inside that Apex.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I think it has to do with the crowd, man. Because like when you
Mhm.
hear like that crowd gives you extra pressure. I mean, that's not the case for everybody. You'll still see some guys crumble and not make a comeback. But
Yeah.
I think with that crowd, sometimes it's like, oh shit, like fuck this. I heard
Yeah.
somebody chanting my name. Versus at the Apex, like I said, you feel like it's just you and that dude in there.
Mhm.
I mean, it's quiet in there, so you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take the easy way out, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And this fight coming up, it's gonna be your first time fighting more than once since 2019, man. And only fighting once a year, it has an effect on a fighter's life outside the cage. How has it affected your life? Just only fighting once a year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, where I think I would say it's affected me is like probably where I'm at in my career. Mm, like financially, I'm doing fine because I do other
Mhm.
things as well. Like I can invest my money. Uh, I teach at a gym, martial arts, that kind of stuff. So my money's always working for me. You know what I mean? So financially, I'm doing pretty good. I just bought a place, a condo recently too. So I'm looking to buy a place in Vegas next year.
Mm.
So it's going good. I mean, and I'm very smart with my money. You know what I mean? Sometimes like, I mean, I know everyone complains about fighter pay and all that, but I think it's a lot of it's like what you do with your money. You know what I mean? What are you spending your money on? What are your habits on? Of course, we could be paid more. I'm a big believer in that, but at the same time, I think a lot of people have horrible spending habits, and I feel like I'm blessed with being educated on how to spend money correctly and how to use it. But I feel where it's affected me is probably like where I'm at in my career. Like I'm not happy where I'm at in my career. Like I want to get going. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's crazy to me. Like in UFC, how certain guys get like that spotlight. You know what I mean? To me, they're not even the greatest fighters in the UFC. You know what I mean? How there's certain people that get extra attention, and I feel sometimes being the best fighter is not everything nowadays.
Mm.
Of what people are attracted to. So it's like, and for me, I just want to be remembered as the realist. You know, I consider myself a realist. I don't sugarcoat nothing. You're never gonna see me and paint my fucking hair, fucking
Mhm.
come out with, like weird ass shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be me, who I am. You know, I like a nice suit. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like I'll do that, but I am who I am. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to call people out on their bullshit. But at the end of the day,
Mhm.
I'm here to fight. I feel like that's something that I love to do. I love to be in that cage fighting and putting somebody out. And I just want to really get that going so people could understand who I am and that I'm different from a lot of these other guys in the sport and the division.
Going back to what you were saying about fighter pay and spending habits, man, I feel like that's important, right? Where did you learn that from? Your spending habits?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say my parents. My dad was always like, seeing him grow up. My parents, like growing up, they always I always had like a house. I always had food, clothes on me. But I really seen the progression of my parents. I remember my dad had like 4 or 5 jobs at the time. You know what I mean? They didn't have a
Yeah.
lot. You know what I mean? But I seen the progression, like from where they came up from nothing, and then
Mhm.
now like my dad has multiple houses,
Mhm.
businesses. He's doing great in life. You know what I mean? That's like the true American dream. And I feel like he really instilled those values in me. Obviously you want to spend money, have fun, but you got to at the same time don't overspend. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of people, they go out to eat every day. You know what I mean? That shit is expensive, especially if you have a family of four. Who knows how many people you're paying for? You're doing that, or oh, my neighbors like got this new TV, got this new car. I want to do that. Now you're spending more than what you're actually making, and now you're in debt, and then you lose everything. So for me, I've always been simple. There's some cool things I like, but I'm not gonna spend fucking $1,000 like on a fucking pair of shoes, or what I mean, on
Yeah.
this outfit. That's just not me, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of it looks cool, but fucking maybe they want to sponsor me, cool. But I just why am I gonna spend my money on that just so people could look at me and oh look at him, he got that outfit on. I'm not even gonna use that. I only use it one time. You know what I mean?
You said you're about to buy a house in Vegas. Is that something for like maybe to live there, to train there, or is that something you're looking for in the future? Is that what's happening, or is it just for
Well,
investment and you're making money?
I mean, so I want to buy it. I don't think I'll live there, but it's something because I travel a lot to train. So like I want to
Mhm.
be comfortable. That's a big thing for me. Because I live in California. I train in California, but I also train in Tijuana, Mexico as
Yeah.
well. So I have a place over there. Um, so like the next step is Vegas.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's a good investment. Vegas, like Tijuana was a good investment over there because a lot of people don't know about it, but it's booming over there. There's
Mhm.
A lot of dollars, American money's flying over there, and the city's really cleaning up. It's not like what people think it is. Like if you watch the fucking news, oh, it's the cartels. It's like
Yeah.
wild, wild west over there. I mean, there's its parts, but it's not. You know what I mean? Once you go there and see, it's like it's not even like that. But Vegas is like I go there a lot to train, so I just want to have my own place over there. And who knows? Maybe in the future I'll move there. I don't know. Um, and people told me I could Airbnb it. I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I'll get another place to do that. But if I'm gonna be like staying somewhere, I want to be able to go when I want to go, and I don't have to worry about someone being there on the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Now let's get into this fight, man. You're facing Liudvik Sholinian. He's a guy from the Ultimate Fighter season 29. Do you watch the show?
No, I didn't watch the show. I haven't watched The Ultimate Fighter in forever, man. Like the ones I really the last remember was like when Bisbing was on there or something like that. I don't know. I don't. it kind of just got a little dead for me. I don't know.
I think it's got dead for a lot of people, man. I'm on your side, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll see clips here and there. Someone might shoot me a clip or something. I'm not gonna sit there. Like we're adults. We have lives. You're busy. You just mentioned like how busy you are, man. So I didn't
Yeah.
expect you to be watching the whole season, but I'm pretty sure you went back, watched some clips, probably watched the fights, right, that he had on the show. What type of fighter do you see, and what type of style do you see from him?
Yes, I mean, so he's like a Ukrainian national champion in wrestling. So I think his base is wrestling. Looks like a tough wrestler, and he brings the pressure forward. Looks like a strong guy if he just tries to hold on you. I feel like those are his strengths. You know what I mean? He likes to pressure, uses wrestling. I mean, he'll strike. But I mean, those are the things. I don't really see much of a technical aspect from his game. But what I can see is he's not afraid to fight, and I think that's what makes him dangerous. And so, what I got to bring to the table, whether I finish this guy every second of the fight, like I'm looking to win and hurt this guy. So it doesn't matter where it goes to the ground. Like, yeah, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. Like on the ground, everyone knows like I'm dangerous there. So if we go there, it's no problem. We could go there. I think like my wrestling, I believe, is better than his. A lot of people, I don't know if they know, but I know how to wrestle very good. Been doing it my whole life as well. And on like on the striking as well, like I feel like I haven't really got to display much striking, but I feel like this might be a fight I could actually do that. You know what I mean? I feel he's very predictable and what he does on the feet, and I feel like I could really expose that on this fight.
I don't know if I remember correctly. I feel like his gas tank is not as good. You know what I mean? He likes to grind out victories, but it seemed like I don't know. Did you see any of that in his last previous like 3 fights? He fought Jack Shore as well, about a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen, I wouldn't say he's like a cardio machine, but I don't know if he
Mhm.
gets tired. But I mean, you could see him fatiguing a little bit, but I feel like he's a zombie in a way, you know what I mean? But it's like a zombie that's. I'm not gonna say he's not dangerous. Everybody that you
Yeah.
fight is gonna be dangerous, you know what I mean? But I feel like he's a zombie that just comes walking forward, no head movement, and I feel it's predictable in a sense, you know what I mean? Like I could hit this guy. What I could say, he has a good chin. It seems like he's never been finished, I believe. So me finishing this guy, I think makes a good statement. He fought Jack Shore. Jack Shore couldn't finish him. He fought
Mhm.
Ricky Torcios on the Ultimate Fighter. He couldn't finish him. So being able to finish him, I think, makes a good statement for me, and then I think that puts me in a good spot.
Definitely boost your stock. Now, assessing your own performances, right? Wins and losses. What is the process you take?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every fight you should be able to learn something from it. You know what I mean? Like whatever the game plan was leading up to the fight, if I was able to execute the game plan like to a T, then that was a great performance. But if there were some things I wasn't able to do, there were some things I was struggling on. So those are the things I need to go back to the drawing board with my coaches. Okay, why did this happen? Why wasn't I able to do this? Okay, my opponent was able, he reacted this way on me. Okay, well, I need to work on these little details so it doesn't happen again. Because if you don't approach it that way, you're making the same mistakes in lean up fights, even though you might be getting away with it, but somebody's going to capitalize on that. And I feel like in this game, you can't afford those kind of mistakes. So it's crucial to always study after every fight, regardless how the outcome went, so you can learn from yourself. And I think that's a big thing. You need to be able to be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? Like really sit there and be honest with your performance with yourself. And if people are criticizing you, like don't take offense to it. You know what I mean? Obviously, if it's some jackass that down the street who's not a part of the camp, then fuck that guy. But if it's like your inner circle telling you, then you need to really be humble and check your ego out the door and take that advice and be honest with yourself.
No doubt. And has there been any performances where you had the game plan and you went in there and it was just perfect?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say I had a few of those fights. The fight with Jamie Simmons, I feel like that was perfect. You know what I mean? I feel like I think the big thing for that, I was focused. You know what I mean? Like super focused. Like I was like, I enter the void is what I call it. You know what I mean? I know Bruce Lee's couple people have mentioned it, but like the void for me is like when I'm in a empty space, it's just me and my opponent, and I don't really see anything else. It's just like a black empty space, just me and him. I'm laser focused, and I just see everything. And like within that time like gap, like it's just I don't know. I feel like when I'm in that space, it's like I feel untouchable, and I feel like it's a hard place to get. And I've been trying to like really train myself to be there naturally. You know what I mean? But I was there in that fight, and I just felt like I couldn't be beat that night. You know what I mean? But I feel like I've been working on a lot to get to that space, so that way I could just really run my game.
Yeah, that's the never ending like search, right? Is finding that space. It's like Michael Jordan when he's in the zone. He throw
Yeah,
up any
same thing.
shot and it goes in, right? It's just but fighting there's dire consequences, you know, that's basketball. It's totally different.
Yeah, totally different.
You know, there's about 5 months between fights. You know, did you work on anything in particular before heading into training camp for November 5th?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I worked on a lot of things. I mean, without giving like things away, but I feel like I just really focused on like approaching the fight, strategically, being in the present, being focused, and just really like people around me. Like that was a big thing. I would really say like having the right people around me and not just dishonest, unreal people. You know what I mean? I feel like that was a big thing for me because I feel like in life, whatever it is you're doing, your circle is so important. Even though like MMA, I'm out there fighting, but the circle is crucial. You know what I mean? There's some people like in life that are, they'll do harm. Even though it may not seem like they're doing harm to you, but it's like you can't have those kind of people around. So to me, it's like if somebody's not adding value to your life, you don't need them. You need to cut them out of your life. And for me, that was like a big thing for me. And there was like nothing like there's like serious or nothing like that, but it's just like little things. Okay, I don't need to waste my time doing these kind of
Yeah.
things or spending my time with these kind of people. I should be training or being with people who are on the same path as me. You know what I mean? Same mission, same belief.
Yeah, I guess, you know, letting other people and their problems affect you, which has no connection to anything that you're doing,
Yes,
right? That's what it is. I think that's
exactly.
a battle for everybody, just regular people in general.
Yeah, and I mean, I mean, the kind of person I am, like I'm very selfish in what I do, but I mean, sometimes I'll tend like I think I'm a good person deep down. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's going through some shit, I don't mind helping them, but then that could be an issue too because there's nothing wrong with helping people, but if they don't want to help themselves, then there's really no helping. You can't drown with them. You gotta just let them fuck it, let them sink.
You're not going to sink, man, coming up in this fight. How are you expecting to perform in this fight? It's a bounce back fight, so there's a lot of expectations, just not from people, but from yourself.
Of course, man. Like the big thing, I got a lot to prove to myself. That's the most
Mhm.
important. And obviously, I want to show the company, UFC, Dana, Hunter, Sean, like, that I'm somebody that, they could count on in the division that's going to put on good fights and, somebody that they need to start paying attention to because, like, this is what I was born to do. I love doing this, and I feel very focused and ready for this fight November 5th. Like, I could sit here and be like most of these other guys, cliche.
Mhm.
I've never felt better, all that bullshit. But I don't need to say any of that. People are gonna find out November 5th, and for me, it's just really being in the present, and I feel real good, and I really see me shining in this fight. Whether I finish this guy's submission, knockout, I go to distance, but it doesn't matter. Like I don't
Mhm.
really care how it goes. The longer the fight goes, like I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Because every second of it, that's just more cage time for me to hurt this guy. You know what I mean? And I don't mind inflicting damage on somebody in the cage. It's all legal. Afterwards, we could hug out and be respectful. But within that 15 minutes, like I'm looking to put that guy out.
No doubt, man. Bantamweight is is arguably the best division, the most shark infested division in the UFC. Speaking of that, UFC 280, Aljamain Sterling is going to defend the bantamweight title against TJ Dillashaw in Abu Dhabi. What is your breakdown of this stylistic clash?
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I've never trained with Dillashaw. I've heard like stuff that what close teammates of mine told me, like how he is in the training room. I've trained with Sterling quite a few times. It's a very interesting fight. You know what I mean? Like I was just talking to somebody about this because I could imagine, Sterling wants to get his back, and it's what he does to everybody, right? It's likes to look for the back, but I'm trying to figure out how he does it on TJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'd never seen TJ get taken down that I recall. I don't know if you recall, but at the same time, I don't know if anyone's ever tried to take TJ down. Uh, so that's where I'm wondering. Could Sterling get him to the mat? he create a position where he gets to the back. 'Cause I feel TJ's pretty fast. You know what I mean? I feel he's explosive in those situations where somebody tries to grab him, he's gonna look to explode out. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of wondering if this is gonna be a striking match. I know Sterling's gonna try to get him down, but I think TJ obviously is gonna want to keep it on the feet. So to me, it's a toss up for me because I feel on the feet I would give the advantage to Dillashaw, but on the ground I'd give the advantage to Sterling. But it's really going to come down to who could keep the fight where they want it. For at least that's what I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I see both of those scenarios. But who do you see walking away with the belt, though?
Oh man, that's all. I don't know, man. Like I have a toss up, but I'm gonna say like I think I see Sterling walking away with the belt.
Mhm.
I mean, it is a 5-round fight too. I don't know. I think I'm gonna lean slightly to Sterling, but it's not gonna surprise me if Dillashaw walks away with the belt.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's a crazy matchup, man. November 5th, UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. If you want to know more about the event, go download the AllStar app in the descriptions. Thank you, Johnny, man, for the time. First time doing this, and hope many more times in the future. Thank you.
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for having me on here. Don't miss the fight November 5th. Check out this podcast. Follow the page. You know what to do.